Hi everyone, I'm sitting down today to do a little get ready with me, and I happen to have pulled enough products here for a full face of Milk and Kosas. I feel like the two brands give off very similar vibes. The three newest products I have from these brands are the Milk Makeup new Bionic Glow Highlighter, and then I also have the new Bionic Bronzer, and then Kosas recently sent me their new Revealer Skin Improving Foundation SPF 25. So I have these. I did get sent 3 of these, but I don't have the darkest shade that they sent to me here. But yeah, I happen to have enough products for only Kosas and Milk to be going on my face today. I also have the Milk Makeup Bionic Blush that I'm going to be using. I'm only going to be using the Bionic Milk collection on my cheeks today, but I am really excited to be giving the Kosas Revealer Foundation another shot. I've used it a couple of times so far and I'm kind of on the fence about it, but let's go ahead and get some makeup on my face. So the 2 shades that I have in the Kosas Revealer Foundation are Light Medium Neutral Olive 210, and then I have Medium Tan Neutral Olive 260. The other shade that they sent was 270, and I felt like none of the shades that they sent were super great matches. I'm going to go ahead and do a little side swatch on my cheek over here so you guys can see both of them, but I think I am just going to use 260 today. I felt like that was probably the best match. The 210 is this one right here. It doesn't look super bad on its own. The undertones of these are interesting. I also tried mixing these two, and maybe I will mix them. After kind of looking at their shades and the swatches, I do feel like the shade 220 would be perfect on me, and even as they dry down, I feel like they get darker. I cannot believe I wore 260 on its own the other day. I'm just not really sure how I feel about this foundation yet, and that's why this isn't like really a review of the foundation. See, that blended out nicely. Maybe I will mix them. I'm gonna mix them today. I just mixed these up on the back of my hand. That shade is pretty good. I feel like the yellowness from the 210 shade definitely it brings a lot of yellow into the foundation, and I do kind of prefer neutral tones. Even though the 210 shade is a neutral, it's a neutral olive, and I just feel like it brings so much yellow. I am going in with the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. So this primer right here. This is the new Kosas sponge that they sent with their Revealer foundation. I actually haven't used a sponge with this foundation yet. I've only used a brush, but I was watching Jamie Page's review of the foundation yesterday, and she wore it with a sponge and it looked great. So hoping that I like it a little bit better with a sponge this time. My experience with the brush, I just felt like I was kind of smearing on the foundation and it never really looked like skin. I definitely am feeling differently about it right now though. It's looking really nice, but I do want to get my hands on the 220 shade. When I mentioned that on Instagram, that I felt like 220 would match me a bit better, they did say that they were gonna send me 220. This is looking actually very, very nice with a sponge. I do like that it kind of just looks like skin. I like the coverage of it. The finish of it is pretty. The sponge soaks up so much product though. That's actually looking very gorgeous. I do think that the color is a little dark. Like, it's not horrible. It's not a horrible match. I feel like my face does look a little deeper than the rest of my, you know, what's going on all over, but not really that big of a deal. I think with the rest of my makeup on, it will end up looking totally fine and normal. I do have the Kosas Revealer Concealer, which I adore. I recently rediscovered this. I just get into a cycle where I use like the same concealer over and over again, and I kind of neglect the other concealers in my collection. Recently, I started using the Kosas Concealer again, and I adore it. I think worn on its own, it's phenomenal for just like quickly kind of getting some coverage in areas where I need, like underneath the eyes, around my nose, chin, and then any kind of blemishes. And when I tell you that this concealer is like probably the least creasy concealer in my collection, I honestly mean that. I have very early mornings with long days for my job, and I hardly have creasing. Obviously, I don't think that it's like a completely crease-proof concealer, but I'm like shocked every day at how not creasy it is. So yeah, the Revealer concealer from Kosas is amazing, but I know a lot of people do have problems with the shade range, specifically the undertones. It's very yellow, and I feel like that is reflecting a lot with the foundation. That's why I'm very curious about seeing the other shades, and I really think I want to see it in person. I want to see the whole lineup in person. But then the other concealer I have is the Milk Makeup Sunshine Under Eye Tint and Brightener, and I wear the shade 3 in this one. I think because the coverage of the foundation was really great, I am going to go in with the Milk Makeup Under Eye Brightener instead, because the coverage is just, you know, a little lighter, and I really don't think that I need that much coverage after that foundation. So I'm just gonna put a little bit around my face, and hopefully the concealer will cover that up. I'm going to use a little brush for that, just kind of bounce it in. And I'm going to use my sponge to blend out the concealer. This concealer is okay in my opinion. I do think less is more with it, because I think it can look kind of thick underneath the eye, even though it is a lighter coverage concealer. So I definitely think less is more. It's not going to give you a ton of coverage, but I do think it, you know, works well as like a hydrating looking under eye concealer. I don't really reach for it as much as my Kosas concealer right now, but it's fine. Like, that looks cute. I think that the combo of the two is good enough for me right now. Very, very excited to open these up. The size difference of these was kind of surprising to me. I was not expecting the highlighter to be so huge. Hopefully I didn't get like a huge highlighter on accident. I totally would have purchased a smaller one if they had it. This is almost 1 full fluid ounce. It is 0.19 fluid ounces. The bronzer is 0.6 fluid ounces, and then the blush is 0.28 fluid ounces. There are like price differences between these. The highlighter was definitely more expensive than the blush and the bronzer, but I feel like the blush and the bronzer are the same price. I will put a list of the prices on the side. I picked up my Bionic, oh, okay, yeah, my blush did this too. They like kind of separate. I went with the shade Shapeshift. Ooh, it's pretty thick. It's a little thicker than I thought it would be compared to the blush. Let me go ahead and apply that to my face. But Rainier sent me some swatches of the 3 shades, and I went with the middle shade. The light shade seemed like it would be fine as well, but I feel like the middle shade I can definitely wear year-round. Okay, I love it already. I'm so happy, because I'm actually a pretty big fan of the Bionic blush, especially the shade that I have. Gosh, that looks so good. I'm just dipping my brush directly into the product that's on my hand. Okay, that was a lot of bronzer. So hopefully I can tone that down. I love the shade. I adore the shade. I feel like the shade would also be very buildable. So if you're a little deeper than me and you still have your eyes on the medium, I think get it. I don't think that you'll have a problem with it. Oh my gosh. I love finding a new bronzer that I like. I love it. I feel like the Bionic blush is a little bit more gel-like, but I'm finding that the bronzer feels a little bit more like a liquid cream. This is my first time using the bronzer though, so I'm going to definitely be using it a few more times before I get like a solid opinion on it, but I love that. I love the glow and the warmth that it just brought to my skin. I am going to apply a little bit of my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip primer, my eye primer, because I want to use a little bit of my leftover bronzer on my eyelids. I don't have eyeshadow products from either Kosas or Milk. I do have some Milk eyeshadows, but they're not with me right now, and I know that Kosas has their own like 10-second eyeshadows, but I don't own any of those. On a big fluffy brush, I'm just picking up some of that bronzer, and this bronzer is pretty pigmented. Just putting it through my crease. I'll probably add a little bit of the highlight as well. Oh, I just remembered I don't have a mascara from either of the brand. Both my Milk Makeup mascara and my Kosas mascara are not with me right now, and I don't really like either of them. I do like the Kosas mascara, the big clean mascara. I like the way that it looks on the lashes, but it irritates my eyes so much, and I just think that the Milk Makeup Kush mascara, I don't know. I've not had like a great relationship with that mascara either. So I don't have a mascara from either brand. I totally forgot about that. Everything else though I have. I'm going to apply some of my Bionic blush now. I have mine in the shade Beyond. It is their sort of purpley blush. So that is Beyond. I totally feel like the texture of the blush and the bronzer are pretty different. The blush, in my opinion, definitely feels more gel-like, just because it does have a little bit of sheerness. I kind of wasn't expecting the bronzer to swatch as pigmented as it did. I feel like the blush kind of reminds me more of like a gel stain, whereas the bronzer was definitely looking a bit more like a liquid cream. I like both of these formulas a lot so far. The blush is very pretty. I do like that the blush kind of looks like a gel stain. I think that that's pretty unique. So that is what the blush looks like on the skin. I'm also very happy that the foundation and these cheek products so far are looking very nice together, because that was also kind of like, you know, a risk doing that. I do feel like the sizes make sense. Like, you don't really need that much blush. I feel like with the bronzer you can mix in with like lighter foundations, and you can use a ton of bronzer if you really want to be heavy-handed with the bronzer. And then highlight, I feel like highlight is one of those products that can be kind of worn without makeup. It can be mixed in with moisturizer or foundation. So I feel like the sizes all kind of make sense, but this highlighter is huge. I don't know. I hope I like it. This is the shade Virtual, and it looks like this. It's very pretty. There are only 2 shades of the highlight, which I do feel like highlight can be a little bit more universal. That's pretty. Oh, I like this highlight a lot. I am going to apply some on the eyelid and like brow bone. Feel like I need some more. I'm just gonna try and get the rest of it on my face. Ooh. I'm really very dewy. I do have the Kosas Cloud Set, so I will definitely use that, but I'll use that in a little bit. For my brows, I'm going in with the Kosas Air Brow. I use the shade Dark Brown in it, and I've been loving this brow product. It's a great brow gel that's kind of a little bit more moussey, but not drying. I feel like with brow gels, it's either a little bit too dry, where it gets kind of flaky, or it's a little bit too wet, so it gets very messy. But the Kosas Air Brow is such a good medium. So I've been really enjoying it, especially because it's so fast. They like instantly look more full and cleaned up. I do also have the Brow Pop from Kosas. I'm just going to add a little bit of definition at the front. Maybe like just a little bit there, gonna add a little bit here. And then with the spoolie, I kind of do like to go right above my brow to lift up any sort of color that might be attaching to like the baby hairs, just to kind of clean them up. Ooh, brows look so good. And like, it's just so easy with the Air Brow. The Airbrow I think might be my favorite colored brow gel at the moment. To set my skin, I'm using the Kosas Cloud Set, and I grabbed the shade Feathery. I have a couple of shades in this, but I don't really love using colored face powders. So I did grab the lightest one, I'm pretty sure, that I own. A lot of the Kosas stuff is sent to me, but I feel like if it wasn't sent to me, I would be buying this stuff up. Like, there was a long time where I bought Kosas before I even got PR. And I'm only recently starting to use the Kosas Cloud Set again. I did not really like this formula, but again, like, Jamie Page raves about this formula. So yeah, I like to give things another shot, you know? And it's fine. It's a powder. I feel like the sun is like trying to peek through, so things are looking a little bit different now. I just checked my face in the bathroom lighting, and my face honestly looks flawless. I look a little more tan, like I kind of look like I've spent some time in the sun, which isn't a bad thing, but it is February, so it doesn't really make sense for me right now. But I am loving the way that the skin looks. I love the cheek products. I feel like the Kosas foundation is looking really, really nice. It's probably looking the best it's looked since I've tried using it. I think I've used it like 3 or 4 times now, and this is the best it's looked. So yeah, I'm still kind of developing my opinions on it. I did just add some mascara. I went ahead and added my Rare Beauty mascara. I just did that off camera. I am going to quickly line my lips. I don't think either brand has a lip liner, but I am doing this because it is a preference of mine. I have 3 potential products. So the Kosas Sport Lip Fuel in Flow is so cute. I oftentimes will just kind of like throw this on as I'm running out, and it's just such a beautiful lip balm. It's a super great quality lip balm. It feels so nice on the lips, and that color is just gorgeous. One of my favorite lip gloss formulas is the Kosas Wet Lip Oil Gloss, and I actually don't usually like lip oils either, but this formula is so good. This is the shade Unhooked. That might be a limited edition shade though, so I'm very sorry if it is. And those shades are just obviously like favorites of mine. And then I also have the Milk Makeup Electric Glossy Lip Plumper, which I actually might use because I do quite like this. It's probably the most sheer. It is such an actually good lip plumper that's like not minty. So yeah, I actually really like it. I am going to use it. And it's like actually comfortable on the lips too. Everything looks so good. Going to shake up my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip setting spray. I spent kind of a long time not really loving this setting spray and just, you know, really enjoying my Urban Decay setting spray way more than this. But TikTok made me try it again, and I adore it. There are so many products in my collection that end up going viral on TikTok, and then I give them another try, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever put on my freaking face. So yeah, Milk Hydro Grip is one of those things. Here is a close-up of my skin with all the makeup on it. Everything is looking very good. My eyes are already creasing. I don't really enjoy the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Eye Primer. I much prefer my Urban Decay Primer Potion. So I don't know if like the Milk Makeup Bionic cheek products would have been creasing as quickly with the Urban Decay one, but they are like liquid, creamy cheek products that aren't advertised on the eyes, so like I'm not really thinking about it too much. But I do want to say that I am not a huge fan of the eye primer, I will say. Everything else on my face right now I am really adoring. Even the foundation that I was pretty skeptical about in the beginning after trying it for a couple of times, but this is looking very, very beautiful. That is going to be it for me. I really just wanted to hop on here, do a quick little get ready with me, sharing some new products in my collection. I really want to know what you guys think of some of the new stuff that's been coming out. I am so happy that I have, especially the bronzer from Milk, the new Bionic bronzer. I'm going to be just using the heck out of this little Bionic collection, I think. What a great launch, and I'm excited to kind of explore the Kosas Revealer foundation a little bit more, hopefully get my hands on the shade 220 because I really think that would be a perfect match. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you aren't already subscribed, definitely go ahead and do so, and hopefully I will see you next time.